minutes, we have an update too on some sad news from the world of entertainment today. Canadian actor Catherine O'Hara has died at the age of 71. She's best known for her roles in films in Home Alone, Beetlejuice, and on the small screen in TV's Schitt's Creek recently.
What else could we be forgetting?
Certainly an iconic scene. O'Hara was born in Toronto in 1954 as the second youngest of 7 kids. After graduating high school, she took a job as a waitress at the Second City Theatre in Toronto, watching actors like Dan Aykroyd and Gilda Radner. She then joined the company herself in 1974 and shared the stage with Eugene Levy, among others. She was a staple on that show in the 80s. It became known for her impressions of celebrities and her numerous silver screen roles, SCTV, and then into the mainstream too, with films like Home Alone, we mentioned Beetlejuice too, most recently Schitt's Creek, and The Studio with fellow Canadian Seth Rogen. Joining me now is Shannon Burns, the host of Virgin Radio. Shannon, I think you, and I've been saying it too to all of our guests that we've been talking about, just absolute devastation to the loss of a true Canadian legend today.
Yeah, I really feel like that gasp can just be heard across the country and across the world. This is definitely a shocking news to get. Catherine O'Hara was just the age of 71. And we don't have a cause for her death just yet, but she is just so beloved by so many Canadians, so many people for, like you said, her roles in Beetlejuice and Best in Show, Home Alone 1 and 2, Schitt's Creek, and then more recently, as you mentioned, The Studio with fellow Canadian Seth Rogen. So she actually didn't make an appearance at the Golden Globes just a few weeks ago, even though she was nominated for her role in The Studio. And the last time that we saw her publicly was back in September when she was at the Emmys. So definitely a very sad loss, especially with her just taking on so many maternal roles. So I think very similar to what we saw with the loss of Diane Keaton is that she just warmed our hearts so much and made us laugh so often. So this is definitely devastating for a lot of her fans.
I want to get to a lot of this here, Shannon, but let's talk about those maternal roles, right? Especially in Home Alone, right? It's felt like so many moms and parents, whether it was parents or kids, that could necessarily not relate to that situation in particular, but she made everything that she did feel so real. And again, maybe with the exception of Moira Rose, which was above and beyond anything else for Schitt's Creek. But I feel that way too, that it was someone that you could relate with very easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And anyone, especially in Canada, we know it is a small country. So you find people who have met her in the past, and anyone that I've talked to who either knew her personally or even just met her in passing always said the same thing, that she is just so warm, so kind. She gives you her undivided attention. And I think that obviously comes across in the roles that she does, like Home Alone, where she really is just that mom. And we watch that movie every Christmas and we get to see her every year. So I think we're really going to continue that tradition of watching Catherine O'Hara in the films and have her life live on in the roles that she's done.
Yeah, without a doubt, going to continue that Christmas, that holiday tradition. Her earlier work too, Shannon, you know, SCTV really did set the stage for her career. Her impressions, the improv work that she did at different points, it really was special. If you go back and watch, which I'm sure many people will be doing today and for the days and weeks to come, watching some of that early work and just what a special talent she was.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, too, her being from Toronto, she always reminds us that she is from Canada and she loves Canada, which is always so special to really be proud of where you're from. Of course, her come up, as you mentioned, Second City here in Toronto. She started as a waitress. She then started getting into the show, and then her career completely took off. She also received the Order of Canada in 2018, the Governor General's Performing Arts Award, Lifetime Achievement in 2021. So she really shows her love for Canada, and Canada has really shown our gratitude right back to her. So yeah,
I want to ask about her most recent work too, because it really was a resurgence for her. You know, in particular Schitt's Creek, but then in with The Studio too. I was talking to a previous guest as well about all of her experience and what she brought to that role in The Studio. I think, you know, and resonating with people as well. But this feels like, you know, I know she was 71, but she was still very much. They just started shooting the second season of The Studio. She was still very much active in her career and still filming, you know, the projects that she was working on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the fact that she was just nominated for a Golden Globe that happened only weeks ago shows that she's still very much in the industry and she's still been working so very hard. So this feels extra unexpected for that reason. It is so devastating that we lost her in this time. I remember when she first, when she had signed on to Schitt's Creek, apparently it took a lot of convincing to get her to do that role. Dan Levy said that he really had to convince her, but she said that she is so glad that she ended up saying yes to it, to more than just a pilot, because that obviously gave her that resurgence and introduced so many new fans who maybe weren't familiar with her work before, or maybe have just seen her in Home Alone, to see her take on this whole continuation of her career. And like you said, with this studio, she is absolutely hilarious in that show. She was so incredible. So I feel like Seth Rogen and her Schitt's Creek family and all of them right now are probably very much mourning the loss of Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, and again here, let's bring up too, for those that haven't seen it, some of the reaction that we do have. The Toronto International Film Festival has just posted a brief message online remembering Catherine O'Hara. Mike Myers, we've also heard from as well. Here is his statement today, and I'm sure this is, again, the first of many that we're going to get. It's a very sad day for comedy and for Canada. She was one of the greatest comedy artists in history, an inspiration for millions, and above all, a very elegant lady, sending much love and condolences to her family. And Mike Myers, again, some very significant, I'm sure another fellow Canadian too, who would have known her well, and some very, very special words from him.
Yeah, I saw a comment online just a few minutes ago that says, I know John Candy greeted her with open arms, and that's another fellow Canadian that we have there too.
Yeah, very, very special stuff, certainly over the course of today. Catherine O'Hara, 71 years old. Shannon, want to thank you for your time today with Shannon Burns, host of Virgin Radio. Appreciate your insight and looking back on Catherine O'Hara's career.
Thank you so much.